My name's Bronson, and today I'm going to prove to you that anybody can do a van build for under 10 grand. So before I get too far into this video, I want to give you a little tour of the van. This is my 2001 Chevy Astro van, and it is the all-wheel drive. It's the cargo version, and as you can see, it's rhino-lined yellow. I bought this back in March, and over the past 3 or 4 months, I have been building this thing out like crazy, and it's finally complete. Over these past 3 or 4 months, I have been on a mission to do something that nobody else has done, and that is to create a van that is not only capable of adventure and travel, but is perfectly affordable. The average van build cost, after doing some research online, came out to be $26,000 to $32,000 on the medium spectrum of the van builds, meaning this is nothing fancy and nothing extreme and nothing luxurious, just a basic van build. And it was somewhere between $26,000 and $32,000. That is crazy. That is a crazy amount of money. And so I decided that I wanted to build something that was going to cost a fraction of that amount. I decided that I was going to build a van for under $12,000. And that is including the vehicle. These other prices that I just gave you do not include the vehicle. That is just for the build. The wood, the electrical, the plumbing, that's all. Nothing else, not even the van. So on my van, I spent $10,400 on the entire thing. That was the van, the wood, the electrical, everything. It was everything. And it cost me $10,400. The point of this video, though, isn't to brag about how much my van build costs. It's to prove to you that you can do the same thing I've done here with the same budget, under 12 grand. I'm going to debunk 4 reasons why people either don't start or never finish a van build. The first obstacle that people face is skill set, or lacking a skill set. And I don't blame them, because if you look in my van, there's a lot of stuff in there that was really hard to do. But you want to know the secret? I didn't know how to do most of it anyways. To learn how to do stuff in a van, you're gonna need to learn how to learn. It's just part of the process. I mean, I started this and it took me basically 4 months to finish. And I was working on it almost every single weekend and almost every day after work in some way. And it took a lot of learning. Most of the stuff in here, I had to look up and research and ask questions about how to do it, because I didn't know. And I encourage you to go on YouTube and watch as many videos as you can and just learn. The other great resource there is are forums and Facebook groups. There are tons of people on the internet who have a lot of information and they want to brag about how good they are at something. Trust me, people love to talk about how good they are at stuff, and one way they do that is by telling other people how to do it. Trust me, it works every time. You just play stupid, they'll give you an answer because they want to be smart. And the last thing is, for learning a new skill set, is, like I said, you got to be willing to learn. And not only willing, but expect. Because I had to learn a ton of stuff. You just have to expect to learn. Another major problem people face is money. And who can blame them? Money can be hard. But if you want to build a van for cheap, it is entirely possible. I did it, and it looks awesome, and it works great. But you have to substitute things a little bit differently than you normally would. For instance, this van is older than I am, only by a year. I'm 20, this car is 21. It's older than I am. The other thing you have to do is go cheap. Everybody wants to get the newest and get the nicest thing. Well, if you're trying to go cheap, you can't do that. So you're going to have to go a little bit cheaper on things. Instead of buying the name brand, go buy the off brand. It's not that hard. You just got to go cheap, and where you can find a deal, go find a deal. And the other thing is take time on it. It doesn't need to be done overnight. You don't need to buy everything all at once. Take a little bit out of your paycheck every time you need to buy something rather than all at once, because that can be really hard to afford. So instead of doing it all at once, just ease into the buying process and do it piece by piece rather than all at once. That's what I did, and it didn't break the bank. Another great resource for finding cheaper things for the van or for your build is local classifieds. You can find so many great deals if you just look hard enough, and sometimes, I'll admit, it takes a long time, but if you can get a good deal, it is worth it. So maybe planning ahead is going to be the thing that saves you the most. The third obstacle is time. Time is difficult, okay? This is something I had a huge problem with because I work 40-hour weeks at my job, and by the time I get off, after work, I don't have time to do a whole lot because I'm tired. I need to do other things other than just this. And I was exhausted already. I mean, I'm working another job, so it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to balance between the van, the family, friends, and the job. Like, it's a headache. I mean, you can imagine. I'm sure you've had something like this in your life before. And I can imagine how hard it could be for you when it was difficult for me with minimal responsibilities, I should say. So my advice to you is expect to work hard, because working hard doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to work hard. It means you're going to have to push through some stuff that you don't want to do. I enjoyed building this van out, but sometimes I had to push myself to get stuff done because I was sick of it. Just plain old sick of it. And the other thing is pace yourself. Don't completely focus on this if something else needs your attention. This will be here for tomorrow. Take your time and take it slow, and don't let it completely frustrate you, because I had my times when I was super frustrated, and it got me nowhere. The fourth thing that people have a problem with is finding a place to build the van out and the tools to do it. These kind of go hand in hand because, I mean, a place to work is almost like a tool, I guess. Luckily, tools and a place to work were not a problem for me at all. But I realized that not everybody has the opportunity that I had to work in a garage and to have all the tools they needed right on hand. Shout out to my dad, because his garage is awesome and he let me use it. I did some research and thought up a few ways that anybody, and I mean anybody, can get a hold of tools and a place to work. Let's put it in a situation for someone that really does not have anywhere to work. And let's say you moved away from their family and now you live in an apartment in the middle of like Ohio or somewhere, I don't know. And an apartment, you don't have a parking lot to really work in, and you probably don't have enough storage inside your apartment for tools. That's really hard. One thing you can do, I mean, this will cost more money. Go rent out a storage unit. I was looking it up and I was like, how can someone find somewhere when they have nowhere? And I did my research, and you can go rent a storage unit. You have to find one with power, but they have garage doors so you can close it and keep your stuff secure. And you're perfectly able to work in there and just pay by the month. And it only costs like $35 to $120 a month. That is not bad. If it takes you 5 months to do, that's anywhere from, I mean, at the most $500, let's say. That's not that bad for somewhere to work, especially when it's enclosed and there's no one in your way. The other thing you got to worry about is tools. You can't do like any of this without tools. And sometimes if you don't have tools, those can be hard to come by and hard to afford. And luckily, people understand that. And there are tons of ways where you can get pretty much any tool you need for a decently priced rate. That can include rentals, used tools, or new tools. And of course, I mean, everyone wants the new tools, but sometimes you're just going to have to go with the rental. Rentals can, depending on the tool, can be really cheap, especially if you're only using it for a day or 2 days, or maybe even a short period of time during a day, like 5 hours. Home Depot does tool rentals, Lowe's, lots of places like I'm sure even local ones around you guys. I know there's local places around me that do tool rentals. So if you need a tool rental, it's super easy. You can go check it out and go pick one up. Also, classifieds, Facebook Marketplace. Hop on Facebook and you can find yourself really cheap tools. It doesn't mean they'll be the best, but they'll be there. And some people are even willing to rent out their tools. I mean, this is the age of renting. People love to rent their stuff out. I mean, between trailers and houses and you name it, people are renting. The other thing you can do is buy new and then return it. I mean, you can probably buy some pretty basic hand tools, use them for the minimal amount you might need to, keep them clean, keep them nice, and as soon as you're done, return them or resell them on Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of options. After filming this video, I can honestly say that there shouldn't be any reason why anybody couldn't do this van build. I mean, I was able to do it, and if I'm able to do it, I promise you can do it too. At one point, I had this van completely gutted, down to the bare bones. Like, it was just metal on the inside. No seats, no nothing, just the dashboard and nothing. So, and from there, I built out this awesome van. And let me tell you right now, if you don't have a camper van or a truck build or anything like that, I went on a few adventures. You can check those out on the previous videos. It is completely worth it. Trust me. It's just the feeling you get from building something from scratch and it being yours and like you created it. It just gives you a sense of pride that it's like nothing else. So I hope I did something here by motivating you to get out, get off your butt and build something cool, because let me tell you, it's just worth it. If you like my content, if you like this video, and if you want to see some more adventures and more of this van content, make sure to subscribe and follow along for more, because I'll be sure to be posting more. And one thing before I go, if you are interested in seeing the entire van build and like the van tour, whatever you want to call it, I'll put a card somewhere and make sure to click that and watch the full van tour so you can see the whole thing inside and out. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I helped you a little bit, and see you next time.